Hey guys, and welcome to my draft analysis of the UCL, the United Champions League. I was actually invited to join this league by MRC Core. I will leave a link to his channel in the description down below, so definitely go check him out. I also want to thank him for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. I've always wanted to participate in a draft league, and I've been watching draft leagues for quite some time now, so yeah, I'm really stoked for this league. This league has 9 other coaches including me, so you can find all of their channels and links in the description below as well. Battles in this league, they will take place every 2 weeks, so yeah, this league is pretty time lenient. It doesn't really have as strict as a schedule as other leagues might have. As for the rules, this draft league has pretty much the same regular rules as always. It is just the regular Smogon rules. It has all the Smogon classes and the same bans. A few other extra mons are banned, like Magina and Tapulele and some others, but for the most part it's just pretty much the same as Smogon. This league does have one special rule which isn't really seen at all in other leagues and definitely made things interesting as well, and it also made the draft pretty interesting, or not interesting but challenging. So basically everyone was only allowed to draft one Pokemon of each type. So for example, if I picked Venusaur, it would count as my Grass and Poison pick, meaning I couldn't pick another one of these two types or one of those two types. And the only exception were dual flying types. They would only count as pure flying, or only as flying, since there are basically only 2 pure flying types in the game, both Tornadus forms. So yeah, this rule definitely made things interesting, but I've stalled this long enough. Let's get right to my draft. So starting this draft, I really didn't have a plan at all. I didn't really know what to pick. Basically, I had no idea what I was doing, but I have 0 draft league experience. This is my first draft league after all, so I do have an excuse if things go bad. But in the end, I do think I came up with a solid team and a solid draft, so yeah, let's get right to it. So round 1, I think I had the 4th overall pick, so not too late but also not too early. But I decided that my round pick would be Landorus Therian. Landorus is just such a good man. It can a number of different sets and moves, which is just really nice, especially for Draft League. So yeah, if you play competitive Pokemon, you just know how good Landorus is. Let's have a quick look at all of the moves it gets. It gets Defog, that's a new move it got in Ultra Sun and Moon. So yeah, and Defogger in this team is just really nice. Hazard removal is really important. Earthquake, of course, is main step, very important and good move. It also gets Explosion, I see, so we might get some explosions here and there. It also gets Knockoff right here. Knockoff is just such a good move. And one of the main reasons I chose it as well is because it's a good Stealth Rock setter. Stealth Rocks are just so important, and yeah, Landorus is just so good at setting them up, especially in combination with a more defensive set. Stone Edge, good coverage move as well, even though it has pretty poor accuracy, but I'm gonna come back to Stone Edge in a minute. It also gets Swords then, so yeah, our moves will hit very hard if we use that. And one of the reasons I took it as well is because it gets U-turn, and we can either be a slow U-turn or a fast U-turn in combination with Choice Scarf or just max speed. Okay, I did have a plan, so I really wanted a good Volt Turn core. I feel most at ease using Volt Switch and U-turn on my mons, just to get in my heavy hitters. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I chose Landorus as well. It also has the Intimidate ability, just a very good ability overall. But yeah, as I said, I was gonna come back to Stone Edge because Landorus is actually my Z captain. In this league we could choose 2 Z captains, basically our Pokemon who can use Z moves, and Landorus is one of them. So yeah, Stone Edge, even though it has poor accuracy, we can combine that with Rockium Z for example and just have a, I don't know what the Z move is called, but a very strong Stone Edge fired off at our opponents, especially in combination with Swords Dance. Flyinium Z is also an option to hit grass types, Z Fly then. And yeah, Landorus just is such a good man. It can either be defensive or offensive and fast. It also can be special, even though its attack is its highest stat. It also has pretty good special attack, 105. That's really nothing to laugh at. So yeah, we can run a special set if we want to. Earth Power, Extra Sensory. I can see myself running Focus Blast. So yeah, just a really solid man, and I'm really glad I got to pick it round 1. So round 2, the order is snaked, so everything went backwards. I had now the 5th overall pick, and I really wanted to pick Tapu Koko at first. I really wanted a fast electric type, a fast Volt switcher, just to add up for the Volt Turn core. But unfortunately Tapu Koko was picked round 1 after I picked Lando, so it wasn't really too bad because I got to pick Raikou, and Raikou is just such a good fast electric type. It isn't as fast as Tapu Koko, but it really has good bulk, as you guys can see right here. It has 100 base special defense, So in combination with maybe Assault Vest, it's just really high in special defense. Also has pretty good HP, 90. So I could have maybe picked Raikou later, but I really didn't want to risk it being taken. I really wanted a fast electric type, and if I couldn't pick Koko, I just wanted to pick Raikou. Raikou is really good man, as I said. It can run Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. It also can run AV, as I said. And we also could maybe run a Substitute Leftover set. It gets Substitute, and it has a pretty good coverage in Aura Sphere. We do have to run a Shiny Raikou for Aura Sphere, I'm pretty sure. With Rash Nature, yeah, I think Aura Sphere Shiny Rash Nature is the only legitimate way to obtain a Aura Sphere Raikou. But that's not too bad. It also, let's have a quick look at the rest of its moves. Calm Mind, as I said, Substitute Calm Mind could be an option we run in a week. Extreme Speed, I see, so we can have some priority. I didn't really know Raikou got Extreme Speed, so yeah, you learn something new every day, I guess. HP Ice, of course, that's just a standard set with Thunderbolt, and of course Volt Switch. That's one of the reasons I chose it as well. Yeah, Volt Switch and Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, yeah, just really a lot of really good moves, and I'm glad we got to pick Raikou. It is also specially bulky, as I said. And Raikou also is weak to ground types, but Landorus is immune to that, so these two Pokemon really have good synergy. So yeah, I'm glad with this pick. I'm glad I got to pick Raikou. As for my next pick, this is round 3, and I actually had the last pick overall, and I really was afraid someone would pick Mega Scissor from me, but I'm surprised no one did, so I immediately went ahead and picked Mega Scissor. I really wanted this mon just to add up for more of the full turn core as it gets U-turn, and Mega Scissor is just such a good mon. In this league we had to pick one Mega Pokemon, we can only use this one. And yeah, I chose Mega Scissor. Mega Scissor, as I said, is a good mon. It gets Swords Dance and also priority in Bullet Punch, which is really important as well. It also gets Defog, so we have another Defog user. You can never really have enough of those, in my opinion. And yeah, it gets U-turn, as I said. We can also run Swords Dance. Let's see. It gets Brick Break apparently. Knockoff, another knockoff user. That's really nice. Iron Head if we don't really want to. If we want more power, basically. Let's have a look. Superpower, it also gets superpower, so we can hit some steel type with that. Roost is also a really good move. It gets recovery in that. And there was one move I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I don't see it right here, but it is Bug Bite. Oh, it is right here, Bug Bite. Technician boosted Bug Bite. It's just really powerful as well. Yeah, of course, Technician will be its ability after Mega Evolving, but before Mega Evolving we can give it Light Metal, so if we switch into a Low Kick, for example, we won't take as much damage from that. And yeah, it just has really good stats as well. 140 defense, 150 attack, as well as 100 special defense. Really bulky mon in combination with Roost. This thing doesn't go down that easily. Well, unless you're gonna fire off a flamethrower at it, then it goes down. But I'm really glad I got to pick Scissor. Really good mon. And in round 4, as the draft order snaked, I got the first pick and I decided to go for Kyurem B. It's just such a good wall breaker. Kyurem B has 170 attack. That's just amazing, and 120 special attack. It has just such good stats. Only its speed is kinda low. But yeah, I decided to go for Kyurem. I just wanted a mon that could hit really hard. I already do have kind of a Volturn core. So if we get the right momentum and U-turn out on something, we can send out Kyurem and just kill something. Something is gonna die basically. Most time you're gonna send out Kyurem on the field. So Kyurem, it can run the Life Orb set, or maybe Scarf. Scarf Kyurem is an option as well. On the Life Orb, its moves are just very hard. Dragon Claw, Draco Meteor, I mean. Earth Power, it just gets a lot of good moves. Flash Cannon to hit, Fairy types. Also Iron Head, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. Ice Beam. Yeah, it's just such a good one. It is basically gonna kill everything on its path, I hope. I hope it will. Substitute is also a valid option on Kyurem, just to scout for something. It also gets Roost, so more recovery. Yeah, I'm just glad I got to pick Kyurem. This first 4 months I'm really happy with. But my next month was going to be Crocodile. I think let's have a quick look. I had the 4th pick overall again. But I got to pick Crocodile. As I said in the beginning of this video, dual flying types only count as flying, so I have 2 ground types. That's I actually banked on that because 2 ground types adds more electric immunity, and that's really important. Electric type is a really good offensive type, and I just wanted to have some answers for that. So 2 ground types, Crocodile counts as my ground type, as well as my dark type. That's also what I wanted. Offensive dark types are really good as well, and Crocodile is one of those. It has base 117 attack. So yeah, Crocodile is also a Stealth Rock setter. So another Stealth Rock setter we have. It also gets Aqua Tail, Crunch, also Knockoff as well. Knockoff is basically its main stat, but we also have a Pursuit user in Crocodile, so that's also really nice. It can run Choice Scarf, Choice Band, and we also might be able to run a defensive set with Rocky Helmet and Intimidate. Yeah, that's also one of the reasons I picked Crocodile. Intimidate, it has just got such good abilities. Intimidate, Moxie. Moxie is more used on offensive sets, but Intimidate, Rocky Helmet, and maybe Max Defense or something like that, and we have our defensive one, but I don't really foresee myself running defensive Crocodile if we have Landorus. But yeah, Crocodile, I'm just really happy with this pick. As I said, another Stealth Rock user. Yeah, also a really good dark type. Not much to say about this thing, I think. It gets Taunt. Yeah, Superpower. Yeah, just a lot of good moves. I'm just happy with this pick. As for my next pick, I really wanted a bulky water type. As you guys can see, I didn't really have a good water type switch in aside from Kyurem, but that's mostly gonna be used as an offensive mon. So I wanted a bulky water type, and I decided to go for Tentacruel. Tentacruel also has really good synergy with Landorus, since Landorus is immune to the ground types that Tentacruel is weak at. And it's also a rapid spinner. That's also one of the reasons I chose it, so more hazard removal options. And speaking of hazards, it also gets Toxic Spikes. Toxic Spikes are actually really good move. Is a really good move, I mean. So we might be able to run Toxic Spikes. It gets Scald. Scald is one of the best moves in the game, even though Burn was nerfed in this gen. Scald is still good. It gets Acid Spray to lower special defense. It gets Ice Beam, so we can hit some grass types, even though we can also use Sludge Wave. It gets SDIC, so we could run a physically offensive Tentacle. I'm not gonna foresee myself running that, but where's the other move? It gets Toxic, that's also nice. Toxic won't miss because Tentacle is a poison type. Yeah, Rapid Spin, I talked about that. Also, it also gets Knockoff, so that's really nice. It doesn't have recovery, so we most likely have to run Black Sludge on it each week. As for its abilities, Liquid Ooze is pretty much the only thing you want to run. I mean, the other 2 abilities aren't really good, but Tentacle, it is a solid mon. I wanted a bulky water type and I got it. I could have chosen another bulky water type, but I don't know. Tentacle has good synergy with Lando. It is a poison type as well. I'm just happy with this pick, as well, especially since we got Toxic Spike on this thing. It also is really bulky in Spadef, and it also has pretty good base speed, 100 base speed. But yeah, I'm just happy we got to pick Tentacruel. So these were my first 6 picks. Let's go right to the next ones. So round 7, I got the 4th pick as well. I just realized I often got the 4th pick, but I decided to go for Sylveon. Because my last pick was Tentacruel, and Tentacruel doesn't really have reliable recovery, I wanted a Wish Passer, and Sylveon is just really good at that. It can be defensive and run Wish with Protect and what's it called, Heal Bell. Sylveon is a really good cleric. Heal Bell is nice if something gets burned like Lando or something else like Crocodile. Hyper Voice is often run at it because Pixelate is pretty much the only move or ability you're gonna run on it, unless you're not running any attacking moves, then I guess Cute Charm would be better. But yeah, one of the reasons I chose Sylveon, as I said, is because it's a good cleric. It has really good Spadef, but also really good Protect, because Sylveon can also be run offensively with the choice packs and Pixelate Hyper Voice. It pretty much decimates any team unless you're Fire, Steel or Poison type or a Blissey. But yeah, that's also the reason I chose Sylveon. So yeah, people have to either expect the offensive one or the defensive one. That's the reason I chose Sylveon. It also gets Calm Mind, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it does, so we can run a Calm Mind Sylveon maybe. Just such a good mon, I'm happy I got it. I'm pretty much saying this to every one of my mons, but every single one of my mons, but it's just how I feel. I think we got a really solid draft, even though I'm not really experienced in draft leagues. I do think we got a solid draft. But next up, I really wanted an... Okay, so here is where I wasn't really sure what to pick. I was thinking about Chandelure since it got Flash Fire and that would be nice in combination with Scissor, but I really wanted a fast fighting type as well as a fast fire type. Fighting and fire, yeah, did I say that right? I don't know, but either way, both fast fighting and fire, and it had to hit hard, and I decided to pick Infernape, even though I was thinking about Chandelure and Mienshao as well. There were some other ones I was thinking about, but I decided to go for Infernape because Infernape is just so versatile and it has really good stats. It can be... Look at its stats, it has 104 attack, 104 attack and 108 speed. That's also the reason why I chose it, because my last few months, or my first few months, they weren't really as fast. Let's have a quick look back at these months right here. I think my fastest mon was... Yeah, Raikou. Raikou was my fastest mon, and other than that, everyone was basically under 100 speed. Well, not Tentacruel, but I'm most often gonna run a bulky Tentacruel. So I really wanted more speed on this team, so I decided to go for Infernape. Infernape is really versatile. It has just such a wide variety of moves and sets it can run. It can run Choice Scarf or Choice Band. It can also be special with Overheat. That's not Overheat. This is Overheat or Fire Blast. Flare Blitz can be run on a physical set as well. And one of the reasons I chose it as well is because it's also again a Stealth Rock setter. So we now have another Stealth Rock setter. We have now, I think, 3 with Crocodile, Infernape and Lando. It also gets U-turn. I wanted another mon with U-turn, and Infernape can do that. And also one of the reasons I chose it is because it gets priority in Mach Punch as well as in Vacuum Wave. Why can't I type Vacuum Wave? Yeah, there we go. So depending on if we run special or physical, we have some priority in Infernape. So yeah, Infernape just such a good mon with close combat as well. It just pretty much hits hard and is able to get out with U-turn. I'm really glad I got to pick Infernape. I'm really surprised it lasted this long into the draft. I expected it to be picked up earlier. As for its ability, its abilities are Blaze and Iron Fist, so really good abilities. If we run Mach Punch or any other punching moves, Iron Fist will be helpful, otherwise we are just gonna run Blaze. But Infernape is actually my second Z captain, so Infernape will be able to use Z moves. I can see myself run Titanium Z and with Nasty Plot and Focus Blast. It also gets Focus Blast, by the way, and with Titanium Z we really don't have to risk miss and Focus Blast. We also can run Titanium Z close combat, so yeah. We also, aside from Titanium Z, it also gets Firium Z and Overheat. Yeah, I'm just really happy with Infernape. Such a good mount, such a really versatile EQ. Let's have a quick look at its moves again. EQ, more priority in Fake Out. Fire Blast, as I said, Flamethrower if I don't want to miss. Yeah, really good moves. Grass Knot, Gong Shot to hit fairies. Yeah, it's just really versatile, as I said. For the 10th time or something like that. Taunt, Thunder Punch, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp. I'm just happy with this pick. I wasn't really sure if I should pick it, but I'm actually happy I did. My next pick was Shaymin. I really wanted a bulky grass type since I've noticed that this team is pretty weak to water type moves. My only resist was so far were Kyurem and, as I said, Tentacruel. So I wanted another water resist, and Shaymin is just a really good grass type in my opinion. I wanted to pick Tangrowth originally, but I think it was already drafted round 1. And Shaymin was still left, so I decided to pick Shaymin. Also, I wanted to pick more pure type Pokemon, or single type Pokemon, because I really... if I picked more dual types, I really wouldn't have a lot of Pokemon, and I really wanted some more Pokemon, so my next few Pokemon are all single typed, and yeah, that's why. But Shaymin is a really good mon. It can either be run defensive or offensive. Oh, it has base 100 in each of its stats, like most legendary Pokemon. It can run Giga Drain, Energy Ball, Seed Flare as well. That's its hardest hit stab. Even though its accuracy isn't that good, it is good because it has a 40% chance to lower a target's PDEF. What more moves does it get? Air Slash to hit opposing grass types, Dazzling Gleam, Earth Power, yeah, a really good variety of moves. Leech Seed for a defensive set. It also gets Recovery in Synthesis. Yeah, there it is. Toxic, Substitute. Yeah, just a really good mon. Shaman. Natural Cure is a good ability as well. If we ever get Toxic on a defensive set, we can just switch right out and we're healed up. So I'm glad I got to pick Shaman. My next pick is Cofagrigus. So originally I was going to pick Gore, guys, but I really, as I said earlier, I wanted more pure single typed. I don't know why I keep saying pure, but single typed mon. So I still wanted a defensive ghost type. And I decided to go for Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus is actually a really good mon. It doesn't really have the best offensive stat. Well, its attack is actually pretty high, but its defense is really high, 145, and its PDEF also pretty good, 105. Cofagrigus, as I said, really good mon. Can run Leftovers or Rocky Helmet or maybe Colbur Berry to take a hard-hitting dark type move. Mummy is the only ability it gets, but it's actually a really good ability. If we face a Guts user with Flame Orb, we can send out Cofagrigus, take the move and, well, change its ability to Mummy and causing it to have a attack drop because of its burn. Cofagrigus can run, let's see, Haze, so we can stop some setup sweepers, Calm Mind, Destiny Bond I see, so that could be nice, even though I don't think we're really gonna use Destiny Bond because it's so slow. That's too bad of Cofagrigus, but we don't really need to run speed because it is bulky. It gets Hex in combination with, for example, Will-O-Wisp. That's also a reason I want to pick it. Will-O-Wisp can cripple physical attackers. I didn't really have a good Will-O-Wisp user yet, so I'm glad I got to pick Cofagrigus with that. Memento, we also can use Memento and maybe send out one of our mons that can set up and sweep. Nasty Plot is also a move it gets, so Nasty Plot in combination with Shadow Ball on an offensive set, of course, will hit really hard. And Toxic Spikes. One of the reasons I chose it as well is because it gets Toxic Spikes, so we have another Toxic Spikes user aside from Tentacruel. And last but not least, it gets Trick Room, and Trick Room can be really helpful, especially with my last few picks, which I will get to in a minute. Trick Room with Nasty Plot and yeah, Hex can be used, or Shadow Ball. It can just hit really hard with max HP, I'm assuming, and max attack. And then of course the speed lowering and attack boosting nature. I'm not sure what it is. Quiet. Yeah, quiet it is. So yeah, and then of course no IVs in what's it called, in speeds. Yeah, and then Cofagrigus can be useful on the Trick Room, so we have some Trick Room options on this team, especially with my next pick, and that is Exploud. Exploud, I originally wanted to pick Ditto actually, but Ditto just got sniped in this round, so yeah, that was really a bummer, but Exploud is still a really good mom. It hasn't really got the best of speed, but under Cofagrigus Trick Room, we might be able to put in work, especially since it hits really hard. Choice Specs Boom Burst Exploud is a set that's often run, and that move just hits really hard. Boom Burst. It also gets more coverage in what's it called, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, or if we want to hit harder, Focus Blast. It gets Focus Blast, I'm pretty sure, as well as Ice Beam I see. I think we skipped over Focus Blast. No, yeah, there it is. Surf, Shadow Ball, it gets such good moves. We also can run a physical set because it gets pretty good physical moves. But most often you're gonna use a special Exploud with Choice Specs. Choice Scarf would also be ran. Its abilities are Scrappy and Soundproof. Most of the time we're gonna run Scrappy because of ghost types. So we can hit them with Boom Burst or Focus Blast, but Soundproof could be useful on any Hyper Voice mons. So we might actually use Soundproof Exploud once, but I highly doubt it, to be honest. But Exploud really good mon, I mean. It doesn't really have the best attack, but I know Exploud can hit really hard. if we ever get the right moment to send it out, especially in combination with our U-turn core, or Volt-turn I mean. So yeah, Explode, I'm happy with this pick, even though I would have preferred Ditto. I'm still satisfied with Explode, so to say. So we now really reached the point of the draft where there weren't really a lot of months left. I still had to pick my rock type, so I just wanted to choose a single type rock type, and Lycanroc Dusk and Lycanroc Mid, they both rock types are really what I would have preferred, were already picked. Lycanroc Mid was actually picked in this round as well, so it got sniped for me. And the only pure rock types that were left were Lycanroc Midnight. That was also an option I was wondering or pondering about, I mean. Sil Valley Rock was still left, and Regirock, and one more or two more, I don't really remember, but I decided to go for Rampardos. It isn't really the best pick, but it still can put in some work, especially since it has a massive attack stat of 165. It has the best attack stats of all Pokemon, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. It is the base 165, as high as Mega Bayonet and Mega Gallade. That's just insane. Even though its other stats are pretty poor, its attack stat is just really high. And it also has pretty poor speed. And while that could be pretty bad, especially for an offensive mon as Rampardos, as I said, we still have Trick Room options. And under Trick Room, and with its massive attack stat, Rampardos can just really put in some work. I hope it might do something this season, but I really doubt I will bring it along often, but who knows. But as for its moves, it got Earthquake, just a regular powerful moves. Really just Earthquake. Endeavor is also a set that can be ran with in combination with Focus Sash. Head Smash, that's its main stab. Iron Head, Outrage, Power Up Punch, I see. Pursuit, another Pursuit user. It also gets Stealth Rock, so we have another Stealth Rock user. I think we have 4 now. So Focus Sash, Stealth Rock, Lead, Rampardos could also be ran. Stone Edge, Substitute. Whoa, I see it got a lot of special moves, even though its attack is just bad. Zen Headbutt to hit any bulky poison type or fighting type or something like that. SD it also gets, I see. But yeah, Rampardos, not really the best one. It does have good abilities though, with Mold Breaker to hit Levitate mons with Earthquake, or Sheer Force is also a good move. Just to power up most of our moves like Crunch or Zen Headbutt. But yeah, Rampardos, not really too happy with this pick, but yeah, that was to be expected. There weren't really a lot of months left, and I decided to go for Rampardos because of the Trick Room options. Maybe we will get to use it, who knows. So my last type I had to pick was Psychic type, and I decided to go for Reuniclus. Reuniclus was left all the way till the end. I would have picked Reuniclus earlier, but I noticed that everyone had already picked their Psychic type, so I could just leave my Psychic type for last, and I decided to pick Reuniclus. I really wanted a more bulky Psychic type, and Reuniclus fits that. I was also wondering about Uxie or Uxie, but I decided to go for Reuniclus because it can... Well, Reuniclus is more versatile than Uxie, that's the main reason I chose it. And also because Reuniclus also gets Trick Room, so we have another Trick Room user. I really want to have a lot of options open, and Reuniclus allows that, especially since it can run a number of different sets. It has really good abilities. Overcoat, well, that's not the best ability it gets, but Magic Guard. Magic Guard is just such a good ability. We can run Calm Mind and not worry about getting toxic because of Magic Guard, but also it gets Regenerator, so a Regenerator mon is always nice. I don't think I'm gonna run Regenerator as often as Magic Guard, but it's still a really good ability. But as I said, Reuniclus can run a number of different sets, either offensive with max attack, max HP, and then run Psyshock or Psychic, or just a more defensive set with I don't really know. I'm not really too familiar with Reuniclus, but it can set up with Calm Mind. And does it get Nasty Plot? Okay, it doesn't. I thought it got Nasty Plot, but Calm Mind is good enough, especially on a bulky mon as Reuniclus. As for its moves, it got Energy Ball, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast. Focus Blast is a good coverage move on this thing to hit dark types. I see we can run some screens on it, maybe in combination with Light Clay. So yeah, that's also an option. Also, it gets Recover, so it has Recovery in Recover. That's really nice. Shadow Ball, just really the regular stuff. And yeah, main reason, as I said, as I chose it was Trick Room. But yeah, Reuniclus is a good man. Calm Mind, Side Shock, and just hit something hard. Yeah, I'm happy with this pick. I really don't know why it wasn't picked at all. Well, there are better Psychic types than Reuniclus, I guess. But for my last pick, this pick actually shouldn't have happened initially, but people, or the majority of the coaches, voted for picking a extra normal type. To be fair, I was against this. I voted no, but the majority voted yes, so it is what it is, I guess. But I voted for Ambipom. I wanted to pick Smeargle, but it got sniped from me. So yeah, I guess that's what I have with normal types. All of my normal types get sniped, but I decided to go for Ambipom. Ambipom is a pretty good mon, actually. It gets Technician, so in combination with Fake Out, Technician boosted Fake Out, maybe with normal gem or something like that. It can hit really hard because of its base 100 attack and 115 speed. I did want some more faster mons. Pretty much my only mons with a base speed higher than 100 were Raikou and what's the other one? Raikou and Infernape. And well, now Ambipom. I wanted more faster mons, and I got to with Ambipom. It also gets U-turn, so more U-turn options, really nice. Let's see, it also gets Fire Punch, I see. So we can hit Steel types, Low Kick, Knockoff, it gets Knockoff apparently, Power Punch, Pursuit, Seed Bomb. So yeah, a lot of good moves. It also got Tail Slap and Ultra Sun and Moon, I think. So we can run a Tail Slap Skill Link, Ambipom, maybe 1 week, that would be nice. Even though Cinccino kind of outclasses Ambipom, but I'm pretty sure no one drafted Cinccino, so Skill Link Tail Slap is an option we could use. Ice Punch we can run as well, and I'm pretty sure that's all there is to say about Ambipom. No, there isn't, because there is a set I know about. I'm just gonna say it out loud, that even though people might prep for it now, well, that's just one more thing they have to prep for, I guess. But Last Resort Fake Out is a set that can be ran on Ambipom. We go for Fake Out and just press Last Resort and, well, deal massive damage. So that's really a set we could run with Jolly, Max Speed, Max Attack. So yeah, Ambipom, even though it isn't really the best one, it is a good extra normal type in my opinion. So this is my draft. I'm pretty happy with it. I do think we got some solid months. But when will the league start? The first week will start on December 11th, so a week from now. Our first match will take place between then and December 24th, and our first opponent is going to be MRC Core. So yeah, the one who invited me for this league, we're gonna face him and the Carolina Crowbats, that's what his team is called. And I forgot to say, I actually came up with a team name as well. This league we're going to be known as the Dewford Dewotts. Yeah, I came up with this name. I really couldn't think of something, so I came up with this. I like Dewford Town, and well, Dewott also starts with Dew, so combine those two and you get the Dewford Dewotts. So yeah, not the best name, but it sounds good to me at least. So week 1, the Dewford Dewotts will face off against the Carolina Crowbats. So if you want to support the Dewotts, be sure to check that match out when it is uploaded. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this draft analysis. This was my first time doing something like this though, so sorry if it wasn't that good or you couldn't really follow it. Let me know what I can do better next time. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys later. Bye!